Hi, in this video, I want to talk about detoxifying the physical body because the physical body plays a very crucial role in how we experience life. This process of detoxification is important for everybody, but is especially important for those of us who have been working to detoxify and cleanse the mental body, to detoxify and cleanse the emotional body, because this new spiritual being that we are needs a place to reside that matches a similar frequency. So as we clear our thoughts, we clear our emotions, we also have to clear the physical body. Let me tell you, I usually do one physical detox a year, but this year I had to do two detoxes. The second one being a forced detox because of a rash that appeared on my leg. Let me tell you, when a symptom manifests on your physical body, on your outer body, it is an emergency. Sometimes we ignore all the symptoms that, life brings our way. We ignore them because they're sort of hidden. But when they start manifesting on the outside, I tell you, if you had never had any motivation to do a physical detox, you will do it when you start seeing those symptoms on your body. That's what happened to me. I had a terrible headache before this situation occurred. A terrible headache. It lasted about 3 days. And I was just like, Caroline, what is going on? I was thinking, oh, maybe I'm getting this headache because my mental mind cannot just connect with what's going out here in the political world and how the world outside seems to, be so inconsistent with where I'm personally headed in my life, and I'd been thinking about what was going on in the external world. And I thought to myself, maybe it's the reason why my head just can't take it. And that's why I have this headache. I'm always trying to put two and two together. But no. That wasn't the case. Then I had an irregular period. And I was thinking to myself, oh, guys, I'm sorry. Well, women have periods. Anyway, I had an irregular period. And I thought to myself, what can this be? Is this menopause? So I called a friend of mine and she was like, maybe, and I was thinking, damn, girl, you're already, at that stage in your life. Okay. Then I thought to myself, what's going on? Then I had hot flashes and I was thinking to myself, what is this? So I Google, and when you Google information, sometimes you see all these terrible things. I mean, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, I think it's menopause. So I was thinking to myself, maybe I'm beginning to get to that stage. But I was thinking, am I too young, or am I old, or is it early, or whatever? So I totally ignored these symptoms. Then after a while, I tell you, I started having, my skin started itching. And I was thinking, oh my God, what can this be? So I really brought it down to the summer. Maybe it's the summer. Maybe it's the humidity. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. And then a rash started forming on my left leg. And I said to myself, what is this? So I started Googling, information. What is this? The meaning of this rash? What is the meaning of these flashes? What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of that? And then I saw a video about someone talking about eczema. And I thought, oh my gosh, Caroline, eczema. How did you get here? Like, what is this? What did you miss? Like, I was thinking to myself, what is all this? Oh my gosh. And when I looked at some of the images, and I don't encourage anyone to look at those images if you're like me, because you know what I'm saying? Like, some of them are really scary, but it is what it is. Mine was, mild compared to some of the things, but it was either, I'm not sure really, maybe it was a little bit of eczema starting to form here, or some contact dermatitis, who even knows? I tell you, man, but for me, it was an emergency. At that point, when I saw the formation of that skin rash or whatever, I went into full, oh my gosh, Caroline, you need to do something about this thing. So I immediately decided that I was going to do a physical detox, because I had once heard someone say something very important that stuck with me, that all skin disorders are blood disorders. So I thought to myself, oh, my blood is toxic, this is a blood disorder. I need to detoxify this thing as quickly as possible. I need to get with the program right now and see what time it is with my system. Then I got into, reading a lot more information. And, I'm very, very intense in terms of how when I'm really going for something, I'm so intense and it really captures my whole life, when I'm trying to fix a situation. And this situation was really like, let's keep this, rash in check, let's try to fix this and let it not spread anywhere else. Let it just stick where it is until we resolve this. That was my game. So, let me just say, if you have any symptom, be very, very conscious to what's happening to you so that some of these things can be contained before they get to a process where they're physical manifestations. But even if they do, remember that there are so many other things that can be done. So anyway, let me tell you. So I started my physical detox. I did a lot of research. I learned, on a conscious level now. I'm not even sure what I've been doing with all my other detoxes. I'm sure that I was asleep or when I was doing those detoxes, or I was not really conscious of what I was doing at that particular time. Maybe I was, but with the level of information or the level of mind or that I was at, that was all that I could do. So I was just doing these physical detoxes without really paying attention the way I paid attention this time. This time, it was a different kind of detox. It shows the energy of the spiral. I went up the ladder, I went deep, I went high, and I went wide, and I understood a lot of things. And I want to share some of that information with you. Most of it will require you to put out your own effort in trying to do the research for yourself and to pick what works for you. But I'm just going to share a little bit about what I learned that I can consciously remember. That's so exciting to me. So now I know for sure, after doing my own research, obviously, that definitely when you have issues with your eyes, it's an issue with your liver. Anytime you see anything going on with your eye, you need a liver detox or something, or you need to check that out. If you have something going on with your nose, maybe it's probably a heart-related issue. If you have something going on with your cheeks or any spot around your cheeks, because your face is a map, okay? So if anything is going on around your cheeks, it's probably a lung-related issue. If you have something going on with your ears, check the kidneys. Something's wrong there. If you have something going on with your forehead, especially the middle part of your forehead, know that it's probably your small intestines around these parts of your forehead, around the temple, probably your gallbladder. If you have something going on around your lips, it's probably your colon. There's just so much juicy information on the internet, especially when you look at it from the Chinese perspective. You're going to learn about the meridians and, what's going on with the meridians. And when you have like something going on with the skin, like I had that rash, thankfully it's healed. Oh, thankfully, I'm so glad. The rash is gone. Okay, so anyway, if you have something going on with the lymphs, like with the skin, you have to check or cleanse your lymphs, or lymphatic system rather. So you can imagine how I was waking up, every time I woke up in the morning, I'd be really massaging the lymph nodes and doing all this lymph drainage massages to make sure the blood was flowing, things like that. So you had to learn about the lymphatic system. I had to learn about the gallbladder meridians and the stomach meridians and how they run through the body and which particular meridian was affecting my left side, There's so much information out there that can help you. And then I also came across a very useful YouTube video that really helped me it really consolidates a lot of information that can be useful for whoever's listening to this video. I'm going to place a link at the bottom of the description box, so if anyone can just click on that video. I'm not being paid by anybody. It's just such a beautiful video with such useful information on the topic of at least cleansing the lymphatic system, but it covers a lot, so I'll put the link at the bottom of this video. So let me share with you some of the things that I used to assist me in this process of detoxification. So the first thing I did was to get myself some herbal formulas to jumpstart this process, because I needed to resolve some issues in this physical body. So I needed something that was going to start this process real quick, and that was this Cleanse Mat formula. So this Cleanse Mat formulas is very, very easy. There's 1 and 2. You take 2 herbs in the morning and 2 herbs in the evening. Pretty easy, just the way I like it. The nighttime one is for the colon, and the morning time one is for the heart, the liver, the kidneys, and etc. And that's just how I like it. Okay, so The second thing I did was to get myself a green tea cleanse. Actually, I just came upon this by accident, and there's really no accident. So I came upon this wonderful, wonderful tea, which I vouch for. Really, I truly, truly love this thing, because when you're on this thing, it totally curbs your appetite. It totally helps to cleanse you. I mean, I highly recommend this tea. By the way, I'm not even being paid to market any of these things. It doesn't even matter. I'm just sharing with you guys what I was personally using. So this green tea cleanse with Garcinia Cambogia was very, very, very crucial in helping me curb my appetite and do the cleansing process while I sat it out and waited it out and Googled information about how to cleanse myself, and allowed the day to go on without me really thinking about eating food. So I highly recommend this green tea cleanse. Take it in the morning, a spoonful in water, beautiful tea, totally curbed my appetite, no sugar. I can't even believe I have not longed for anything sweet, no sugar, no coffee, no tea, nothing. And those were my staples. I have not even had the desire to have any of those things. But anyway, I guess, you really get pretty motivated when you have stuff going on in your physical body that you need to get rid of. You will forget about the coffee, you'll forget about the chai, you'll forget about the sweet things. They'll be gone because you've got business to handle. So that was another thing that I used. Another thing that I used was I started getting these superfoods. Let me tell you, I'm not even an expert on any of these things, but I was following my intuition. I got these superfoods. This is a superfood, super green boost. This is purely veg. And this is hemp that I got, plant protein. And I of course, the chia seeds, which, we take. But what I want to say about these particular superfoods, is that I learned something during my research, and that is to not mix my veggies and my fruits. You know how I used to do it, and I'm sure many other people do it. They mix kale and fruits and make a smoothie out of it. I learned through my own research, and I totally resonate with that information that fruit has to be separate from veggies. Veggies and protein can go together, but when you're doing the fruit thing, fruit is separate. Okay, so I would only mix my veggies with the veggie superfood with the proteins, and make my own little drink, to drink during the day. And then on that, before I forget something, I have to say, I also learned something very important. The difference between sweet fruits and acidic fruits and sub-acidic fruits. I never even knew any of these things before. I would make a smoothie in the morning and I'd throw in all kinds of things. But I learned about combining foods and how important it was to know which fruits to combine, especially when you're doing a detox process. Because the more astringent fruits you eat, the better it is for the cleansing process. And sometimes when you mix the sweet fruits and the acidic fruits, sometimes they just don't go well. If you mix the sweet fruits and the subacidic fruits and the acidic fruits, they don't go well together. So it's good to do either the sweet fruits and the subacidic fruits, or the subacidic fruits and the acidic fruits together, but never you can't just do the triology of them. But this is for all of us guys to go out and research, combining fruits. What kind of fruits make the best smoothie for a detox process? I mean, it was truly an enlightening process for me, and I highly recommend that we all do this work, do the research if you're interested, because it truly enlightens one on how things can be done. And if it works for you, go for it. If it doesn't work for you, do whatever you want. This is how we are. We are free beings. We can do whatever we want, and we can also ignore everything out there. Who cares, right? Until you get a skin rash, and then you'll be like, okay, I care. So that's what another thing that I did. And then I also learned something very important, the importance of allowing the body to rest, without having to eat things in the morning, just allowing this whole process of how nature works, to allow the body to detoxify the body itself, without having to eat. That whole thing about eat breakfast like a king, I found out for myself that thing is totally wrong. It's at least for me, it doesn't apply. Eat breakfast like a king? No, I eat breakfast like a pauper. In the morning, It's fruit smoothies and my green tea and my detox, lots of water and just pure fruits in the morning. And then after 12, then I can think about eating like a king. But in my philosophy now, from what I learned, which I found to be very, very useful, because I feel that my my digestive system now works perfectly after this detox. So my philosophy is eat breakfast like a pauper, lunch like a king, and dinner like a prince. And I don't eat after 6 o'clock. I never used to do that before, but now with all this information, I'm just much more in tune with what I need to do for my body. So that's another thing that I learned. Let the body rest. In the morning, just stick with the liquids. Stick with the liquids until until the afternoon. At 12 or after 12 p.m. after, then you can get busy with whatever it is you're getting busy with that feels good for you. Everybody has to use their own guidance and their own intelligence in whatever it is that they're doing. Remember, we are preparing these physical bodies to allow the spiritual body, the mental body, the emotional body, this new being that we are, to fit in. So we got to do the right thing by our physical body. It's just following the truth of what we know inside. So that's another thing. Then obviously we all know, get good rest, sleep as much as you can, try to relax yourself, drink a crystal elixir. I discovered for the blood cleanse for myself, I made elixirs, crystal elixirs or crystal water charged with bloodstone and aventurine. Oh my gosh, that thing is perfect for those who are working with cleansing and detoxifying the blood. If you're stressed out, you can make a crystal elixir out of any lithium-based stones, like, lepidolite, or if you have the pink tourmaline, you can just put it in a glass of water, let it sit overnight, and then drink and just feel that stress-free calmness coming into your being. So that's another thing also. Then I drank very good water. I'm a distilled water kind of girl, just because for whatever reason, I love distilled water. It's just my choice. But you can drink alkaline water and pure water, and make sure, because you're emotional, you're a water body. So make sure that the water that you're drinking really matches the frequency that you want it to be. Introduce good foods into your being, into your body, to support your system, however it needs to be supported. So those are the things that I did. Then obviously in the night I'll drink some good green tea. If you don't have a good tea or whatever, I got this Touch Organic mango green tea that I would sip on in the night, before 8 o'clock or whatever. I would make some green tea. And then I also introduced like a lot of this superfood powder. I got the Daily Reds, and this is basically fruits, and then also the Daily Greens, which it's just a supplement or whatever. And then I also did a lot of vitamin C herbs and MSM sulfur herbs, and this spirulina and chlorella, this blue-green algae. The spirulina and chlorella, they boost your immunity also, and also really detoxify you. These are really, really good for you. I mean, I did my own research and I found that information. I'm advising anyone to do their own research and find out information. Like I said, I'm going to put a link to a video from someone who made a very, very good video about detoxing the lymphatic system. But within that video, it contained a lot of information that can be really useful to give you the overall process about at least how to jumpstart this detoxification process. So it was a really, really interesting time in my life, and the last 1 month, and I learned so much. And I expanded so much. I'm not even sure, like I said, what I did in the past, or where my mind was at in the past when I was doing these physical detoxes. But because so many people are going through so many physical processes, maybe this is something that we might want to consider, doing a physical detox to cleanse our bodies and just honor it as the vessel that is going to be the carrier of light that it truly, truly is. This is the vessel, this is the vehicle that we are going to be using to walk and our path in this new earth, as we experience these new earth energies. So guys, you know that the physical body is usually the last part of the process because it's usually so much lighter on these other realms, on the mental, then the emotional, and then the physical body is a slow, dense process. So sometimes by the time the thing manifests in your physical body, it's just the last part of the process. So let's do whatever we need to do to release that energy, to detox that energy, to be free of that energy, so we can start enjoying this beautiful life in this beautiful world. I love you guys. If you guys are detoxing or working with your physical bodies, let me know how you're doing it. Share your processes with me. I will truly, truly appreciate it. As usual, guys, I love you, love you, love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye.